It's not a death-related porn podcast.
It's not, but this podcast can be whatever you want it to be.
There's always time to switch it up.
That's true. And, we don't always... Sometimes talking about penis size gets old, and sometimes you need to just throw some death in there.
I mean, I posted on Twitter and quickly deleted it because I realized it seemed insane, which it was. But I was on like this third date with a guy, and I brought up death planning, and I was like, oh, this is why he's not talking to me anymore.
Yeah, but you know
it's a lot.
But I also feel like it's important to be authentic, and if someone can't handle your death talk, then maybe they're not the right person for you.
Maybe they're not the right person for me. If I'm just like, put my cremated body in the elephant Hasbro and let people catch it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if you just put it in your dating profile, like looking like really into death. I would love to
collects dead animals.
I would love to see the kind of people that you would get responding to your profile.
I mean, I tell people I collect like dead things too, and they always get very concerned.
What kind of dead things?
Specifically, I collect cat bones.
Okay. You're really into cats.
I love cats so much.
I mean, so why cat bones? Do you just love them so much you want to have them around you in death as is in life?
Well, I think it's good to hone in on something specific, so I could just collect all bones, but I think cats are better. But I like the bones specifically because it's so interesting how you have that after you die and you're like pretty much decomposed. Like the bones last a very long time. And I've thought for a while and talked to friends of mine for a while that when my cat Cookie dies, I'm like, I'm gonna get him stuffed, taxidermied. And then I realized recently, I'm like, it might be a little like uncanny valley to like have him taxidermied. So I found a place here that actually does, like you can just taxidermy like a heart or a tail, or you can just get the skeleton or skull. And now I think I'm just gonna get his skull because he's a flat-faced cat, and I'll have like his little flat skull, which I think would be very cute.
I have a friend who had 2 cats that he was very attached to, and when they died, he had like the skull like bleached and prepared, and he has that in some kind of display thing. So,
which I think is the right level for me to be like, this is my cat, but it doesn't look just like him.
Yeah, and also. You must be aware of craptaxidermy.com, right?
Which I would like, he's gonna like, when people try to draw Cookie, he ends up looking like an alien. Like he's got this weird face, like it's just deformed. I'm like, how bad could he look if they like taxidermy him wrong? Like, no.
It's actually one of my favorite websites. I think I have the book too. As much as I like, I'm afraid of death and I don't enjoy like looking at dead things. Crap taxidermy is pretty good. Pretty engaging.
It's your gateway.
It's my gateway to death.
Yeah.
To death talk. All right, Bunny, let's talk about you and your life.
Okay.
So you grew up in a small town.
A very small town.
What was that like?
Horrible. So I grew up in a small town, and if you look up the population, it'll say like 2,000 people. But 1,000 of those people are in the women's prison, which they use for like census purposes because you get more tax money. So it's like 1,000 people.
Wow.
My graduating class was like 50 people.
Wow.
So very, very small.
Wow. Is it so? I mean, tell us some of like the pitfalls of living, because I grew up in LA, so I have no idea.
Which is like I wouldn't know what growing up in LA would be like. I just can't even comprehend that either. I mean, you know everyone. And everyone knows you, and everyone knows all of your business, and you know all of their business, and it's just, it's a lot. And it's also like where I grew up, it just felt like a very dead end sort of area, and I was like, if I'm going to do anything, I need to leave this town. Like that is my only goal in life. Like I don't care what I just need to get out of here. And yeah, it's very strange growing up in a small town like that, and just having everyone who lives anywhere near you be such a sort of intimate part of your life and know so much about you. And I'm like, I have people tell me now that I'm like kind of withholding or like secretive about things. And it's not necessarily on purpose, but I think I really appreciate a certain level of privacy. Like, I'm showing whole on the internet, so I clearly
Yeah.
don't care too much about like all of my privacy.
Right.
But like, there are some things that I'm like, this is for me. This is mine. This is for certain people that I let have it. And when you grow up in a small town like that, you don't really have like. Sure, I wasn't showing my tits online then, but I like every other horrible part of your life, everyone knows about, and it's so exposing in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. So I assume that everybody in your town probably knows
I would assume
that you do porn now.
I would assume so.
Do you get Facebook messages from
I'm not on
people from
Facebook.
school? Okay.
I deleted my Facebook like even before I joined porn. But I have a couple friends of mine who I